Bro, can I just cry for like a minute? Earlier today, I had just gotten finished recording like 3 hours for this Luocho Showcase, and long story short, OBS did a poopy and everything was lost. For all the nerds, I do record in MKV. However, I had this bug that says stopping recording ... forever. This has happened 2 other times. The first time the file was recoverable and the other time it was not. This is a new issue that popped up out of nothing since I didn't change anything, but apparently the encoder crashed and literally never even recorded anything, even though there's the little red dot there that says recording and a timer counting up. I have made some settings changes now, so maybe it works, maybe not, but for the future, I have to make sure a file actually pops up in my file explorer where it should, because there was literally nothing there during recording. But yeah, fun times. I took my mandatory break to have a mental breakdown, but I'm back now. This will be a much different showcase, because usually, you know, we spend a couple minutes raising him, talking about him, building him and everything, but I've done that. He is built. To be fair, a lot of those 3 hours was spent actually trying to build him and get decent artifacts. So since we don't have to do that, well, it might even be easier to edit. So always kind of have to look at the bright side. But yeah, let's just go over the basics. We got him up to level 75. He currently has post-op conversation for the sole reason that it is S5. I don't think it's necessarily a good card for him because the second ability, increasing outgoing healing when using ultimate by 24%, is completely useless for him. I do think a better Lycone is Quid Pro Quo or even Shared Feeling. Funnily enough, this one, Perfect Timing with his face on it, isn't that great for him in my opinion, due to his bonus ability already giving him 70% chance to resist crowd control debuffs like freezing, which are the most important ones to resist. And since this will give him effect res and then give him outgoing healing scaling with effect res, yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need effect res. But I did ultimately decide on post-op conversation because it's S5 and we get 16% energy regeneration, which is quite a lot. All things being equal, I think Quid is the best 4-star for him. But again, since post-op is S5, I'm going with that. Obviously, his signature is the best. The other 5-star abundance card is okay. I mean, just for the base stats alone. But we get an HP bump here, which Luocha doesn't really care about, but 12% outgoing healing and some increased damage based on healing, which he does heal a lot. So that was light cones. Let's talk about his traces and trace priority a little bit. I actually did not mean to get his skill Prayer of Abyss Flower to level 9. I was rambling on talking about how much it's actually increasing. And then before I knew it, it was at level 9 and we had to farm a bunch of stuff. I digress. It actually does go up quite a bit, 2% attack scaling per level, and the flat HP bump goes up so much. So I'd say his skill is probably highest priority. I mean, he is a healer at the end of the day. I think his talent is also very important. I would have gotten this higher, but we accidentally invested so much into the skill that it was left at 6. But yeah, the talent paired with the bonus ability down here is just cracked. Basically, every time anyone attacks the enemy inside of this field, everyone gets healed. And one thing I was super hype about was that this also works with Clara counters, and I love my Clara. She's basically always in my team. The ultimate I don't feel is that important. I was trying to pair Yukong and Luocha together because what I thought was interesting is that Luocha is built with a lot of attack, but not much crit stats. And then Yukong can provide those crit stats. And you know, I was trying to see some decent numbers with him, but I could never get it to properly line up that well. I could probably force it. I gave up during the initial recording, but we were like, I was exhausted. It was 3 hours. All those relic failures was kind of getting to me, so I was like, forget it. So maybe we can try that again, see if his ultimate can do some solid damage. When we get into his relic build a little bit later, you'll see it's still a little bit mid. If you are focusing on him just being a healer though, his ultimate really isn't important at all. The only thing that goes up is the damage of the ultimate, and without specifically trying to make him deal damage, he's not really gonna deal a lot of damage. Not compared to a main DPS, you know? So basically, number 1, skill, number 2, talent. I probably would put ultimate at 3 above basic, but they're kind of interchangeable in my opinion. And then of course, all 3 of his bonus abilities are insanely good. Like we talked about a second ago, Sanctified makes it so where the entire party heals every single time anyone attacks. Cleansing Revival is amazing. It adds debuff removal onto his skill. Debuff removal also happens when it does the passive proc when an ally's HP drops below 50%. And finally, through the Valley, the chance to resist crowd control debuffs increases by 70%. Crowd control meaning freezing, impairment, just anything that will make it so where they can't make a turn, which is the most important debuffs to resist for a healer. So you still have the normal chances to get like bleed or burn on you, I guess, but he's such a good healer that it shouldn't matter that much. Outside of that, for the little bonuses, we mainly just went for the attacks, except for the really expensive ones. Like this one's only 3 purples, but you got to go through HP percent first, which is also 3 purples. This one down here is 8 purples. So I'll get those eventually, but I didn't feel like it was a super high priority. So talking about his relic build now, we went 2-piece passerby, 2-piece musketeer. I did actually want to go 4-piece passerby, but we didn't have the relics to do so. Like 0 speed boots for that set. I've already thrown so many away. Like I farmed this set a lot, but no speed boots, so I couldn't go 4-piece. 2-piece musketeer is still a 12% attack boost, which is pretty good. 4-piece passerby gives us an extra skill point upon entering battle. And when I first read this, I was thinking, well, that's not that useful, especially for longer battles, you know? 1 extra skill point, who cares? But I mean, it can have a bit of a ripple effect. So that extra skill point, even in longer battles, can come in clutch for like an emergency heal. For Lincoln Ball, we went Fleet of the Ageless. I would have actually preferred Space Sealing Station, basically gives us 24% attack. Oh my God, okay. This is embarrassing. I just spent like the last 10 minutes rambling about why not go Fleet of the Ageless? I figured out that this 8% attack goes to everyone, including the wearer, so Luocha himself. And I was like, why Space Sealing Station? It's only 24% attack versus 20 attack and 8 attack for everyone else. But then I realized this is max HP. This isn't attack. So he's only getting 8 attack versus 24 on Space Sealing Station. I literally just did not read that said max HP. Wow, okay. I'm kind of glad the recording got sent to the Shadow Realm. I mean, I didn't really have a choice anyway because I didn't have the proper stuff. I'm just gonna keep him in the build. Stats wise, we mostly focused on attack percent and speed for the substats. Regardless, outside of the head that rolled all right, nothing else rolled very well. So his build ended up being not great. We went outgoing healing bonus for the chest and then double attack here. Energy regeneration link rope would probably be better than attack, but only if you got like really better subs than I did, because even with all those attack main stats, we're under 3k attack. And don't get me wrong, he still heals plenty with 3k attack, but I don't know if I would want to give up more. But yeah, we're going to showcase him now, starting as just a healer. Nothing more, nothing less. We may or may not dive into his damage capabilities, although in his current build, again, it's probably not going to be amazing. So I'm really just taking my main team, Jingyuan, Clara, Tingyun, and replacing Bailu with Luocha. We're doing max difficulty world 3 for those relics that I would want to get better for my Luocha, but we still do have to fight a level 90 Gepard at the end, so it's not going to be a cakewalk. It is a bit of a shame this footage was lost because I saw some nutty, like 250k Clara counters. For once we had actually decent Sim Universe luck. That's probably why the recording exploded. So we're coming up on the first elite here. I'm going to try and not auto so I can kind of walk through what's going on there. We are going to use this technique point, so we start with the Abyss Field. That's always kind of cool. And we'll just go ahead and attack him. So he goes and does his Abyss Field. I'm actually going to try and do Clara Burst. And you can probably see later that Clara's counters actually count. Also on auto, Luocha would just do his burst immediately, which I feel is a big waste because it gives him 1 stack of this Abyss Field, but you don't get that stack when it's already active. So we're just going to do a basic instead. Everyone is full health, unfortunately, so I'm not sure if we can even see that here. Wait, here, well, I mean, Clara's going to heal herself, of course. But dude, look at that, full health. That is insane. But yeah, the first elite wasn't much of an issue. What do we get from our immersion reward? We didn't get anything when we first ran through here. Physical space, quantum fleet, well, an attack fleet. We already do have a 5-star and the subs aren't great. So I'm also completely avoiding any abundance cards so that his healing isn't inflated. We'll also do some non-sim universe content just so it's, you know, less complicated. Let's go ahead and get the Abyss Field again, all that good stuff. And I guess we'll just attack him with Clara. Ooh. That dude did a lot of damage. I think we'll be okay. We're in the Abyss Field, so he'll heal himself a good amount. Like, damn, that was what, like 20% of his max HP there? Now that the Abyss Field is gone, we are gonna go ahead and do his burst, get 1 stack back. And his burst did like 10k when there's 5 enemies and it is AoE. Okay, there goes his passive. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that during my first recording. When the under 50% skilled passive triggers, it also gives him an Abyss stack because we're in Abyss Field again. That's cool. But yeah, Clara counter, you see that? I can't even really show much of his healing because we're just always at full health. I guess that is saying something as well. Oh, well, there goes his passive stuff again. And a debuff was removed, it said. Don't know which debuff she had on her, but it's gone. Triple abundance 3 stars. No, you're not gonna get me. Oh God, what is this? This one's all right, but actually this card would make you, I think, literally unkillable with Luocha on your team. And I really don't want the remembrance ones anyway, so yeah, well, let's grab this, I guess. What do we get here? HP rope, break effect rope. Meh. We only got 1 3-star elation this time, unfortunately, but 12 elation overall, so. Well, we've made it to the boss. What I did last time is honestly just full auto him. Oh god, that's so cool. Every time they attacked Clara, everyone took equal damage, and then all of her counters just fully healed everyone back up. I want to see some of those big juicy Clara counters. And of course, Jingyuan Thunderlord. Oh, what the? Okay. I didn't see that. 360k on a single target too. Clara counter, 221. I'll take that. Clara counter, 143. Okay. I don't think I ever saw a 360k Thunderlord. Our HP is actually getting a little low. So we would need to probably hurry up and try and get another one of those Abyss fields hopefully soon. Maybe I should give him energy regeneration anyway. Should be a decent counter though. Did I literally just see over 500k Clara counter? What is going on? Okay, there's Abyss field. There's a counter. It was only, I don't know how the hell that was over 500k. Another Clara counter, just healing everyone up. Incrementally, of course, but it's enough to keep everyone more or less healthy against this level 90 Gepard. Obviously, doing 500k counters for some reason helps. Just kill him. Bro, what the hell? Elation Path is dumped. 606. I'm not even surprised anymore. 666k. Bye-bye. For the love of God, OBS, don't delete this one. This is epic. We got some orbs here. Ice and fire. Some more orbs. Physical and ooh, imaginary. Oh god, the subs are atrocious. And again, I'm personally not that interested in trying to make him DPS, but I still do kind of want to explore it a little bit. I cannot get over the numbers I just saw. I know it's like completely irrelevant to a Luocho Showcase, but damn. So this was the team I was trying first: Luocha, Yukong, Seela, and Silverwolf. I just know Yukong doesn't work well with Jingyuan until she's E6, then it does work out all right. And my only other DPS was Seela, and I was ranting for like 30 minutes about speed, because it can get really complicated, especially with Seela, because she gives herself a speed boost. But I more or less figured out if I steal Jingyuan's link rope, Seela drops down to 119 speed, and with her speed boost, she is still a little bit slower than Silverwolf and still a tiny bit slower than Yukong. I think she has 148 speed with her buff, which is a little unfortunate because her hunt card doesn't get all the stacks. I mean, it will for the first couple of turns because Yukong's E1 gives everyone a 10% speed increase, making Seela go up to exactly 160 speed while still being slower than both Silverwolf and Yukong. So basically Silverwolf does her stuff, she's out of the way, then Yukong goes, gives the buff to both Luocha and Seela. I mean, of course, if we were actually trying to full DPS with Luocha, we wouldn't have Seela and just him as the DPS, but that like, But I mean, we would kind of need an imaginary orb. I just don't know if it justifies losing more attack. We would have one with absolutely atrocious substats. I mean, they're not worse than the one he already has, to be fair. I would just feed it into the 5-star, but this was actually Tingyun's. Oh wow, I just realized, bro, I just went in max difficulty way with you, Tingyun. Feels like Genshin all over again with everyone sharing gear. I need to get better with that. Do I really gotta raise this garbage? I guess I do. We basically only have the 4-stars we farmed for fodder just now because I spent everything else building the team I was trying to build. Isn't even that good still, but I'm not even gonna get it to 15. Like, what's the point? Even with Yukong's crit boosts, he's only gonna have like 40 crit rate. We're gonna do her support skill, and then we're gonna do her ultimate. That shouldn't kill them. She's not built super well, whatever. So Luocha now has 46 crit, 130 crit damage, like 3,900 attack now. If it doesn't one-shot these little minions, I will be very disappointed. I don't know what to expect though, like, okay. Like 8.5k damage per enemy there. Let's try again, I guess. All buffs back, yes. This is like best case scenario outside of Silverwolf decreasing their def or something, but that's kind of dumb on the minion. She might just kill it. But yeah, we have 3 enemies here now. 31k. I mean, he at least killed them. But I mean, if you want him to crit consistently, he still needs more crit rate outside of what Yukong gives. And are you really gonna give him a crit rate chest? So I don't know, like maybe with a perfect build, it would work. Like if every relic had attack percent, speed, crit rate, and crit damage on it. And if you still stuck with, you know, healing bonus to keep him, you know, being a good healer and all, then yeah, maybe he could do some solid damage. I mean, especially for a healer, if he could still heal well and do, you know, 30k to a group of enemies, then you kind of have the best of both worlds. But mine, I don't think is built well enough to justify giving him an imaginary orb over attack percent. So I mean, he has damage potential, but you need amazing relics for that to also make him a good healer. With that being said, I would rather just focus on him being a healer, essentially replacing Bailu, because yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he is a much better healer than Bailu. He is kind of like Bailu and Natasha put together, what I really missed about Natasha after swapping to Bailu is that Bailu doesn't remove debuffs. Well, Luocha does. Don't get me wrong, you can get by perfectly fine with Bailu or even Natasha. I haven't really started going through Memory of Chaos this reset yet. Next hardest thing, in my opinion, are these weekly bosses. So we already got the Abyss Field going, I believe. And yeah, it is unfortunate that on auto, he's just gonna do his ultimate anyway. I would personally save it until the Abyss Field is gone. I think I mentioned this already, but yeah, pretty helpful. I don't know if, okay, well, look at that Abyss Field going, you know? Our Jinyuan was like nearly dead, a few attacks from the allies and he was healthy again. Granted, this boss does a ton of damage, but they are still doing fine for now. Oh my god, why? Stop almost one-shotting. But there comes his passive. Oh god, her burst. Oh no, that was really bad. Okay, thankfully, we got Abyss Field back. Let's see how fast we can all heal up. There was his ultimate. Clara's doing her burst. Yeah, pretty much everyone is healthy again before the boss could do anything, so that's just kind of crazy. I mean, granted, one of the other two healers' bursts would have done almost the same thing. Maybe not fully healed, but that's burst healing, you know, and this Abyss Field lasts more than just one time. I think that's the main thing that makes him special, outside of the fact he scales with attack and I guess can do decent damage. But yeah, there was the boss. There were definitely some close calls with her single target, really powerful attacks, and also her ultimate, but no one died and it was a relatively fast weekly boss run there. So pretty much if you can avoid getting one shot, Luocha will keep you healthy. And that's pretty much all there is I have to say about him. For the love of God, OBS, please don't mess up again. Make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Dropping a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.